1, 2, 3, 4.
There are times I wonder if I'm really alone. There are times I wonder if I'm true. There are times when I feel alone and I'm full roam. There are times I feel alone with you. You are enough of you. And there's always a love for you.
Sometimes I wonder if I'm real or if I'm seen.
I see everything, you are enough for me. You are enough for you.
My race is black.
I'm white.
Mixed. I'm Cuban, Hawaiian, Puerto Rican, Portuguese, Native American, and white.
My race is white, Caucasian. I'm white, but you know, my family's Italian. I'm a first generation American, so I'm just white.
My race, I am white.
My race is white. My ethnicity is Pacific Islander. My dad's side was all Hawaiian, so I check that box on applications.
My race. Okay, so according to the government, Hispanic or Latinx or Tex-Mex or Mexican are not races, they are ethnic identities. However, I have never felt comfortable being labeled as white because I'm not white. I've never been white. I've never been in that culture before. So government-wise, yeah, I'm quote-unquote white, but in real life, like, I don't have the kind of privileges or things that white people really get to do, you know? So I guess with the race that I do identify as is Tex-Mex, because ultimately that is my culture and that is where everything lies.
Yeah, my gender and my race intersect. I didn't even know how much they did until I went to a workshop where there was other queer and trans people of color, and it's really a part of who I am, and I know that part of the white supremacy in this country has put gender roles on people, and I think being black makes me very restricted. I'm supposed to be like really feminine and be proud that I'm a strong black woman, but I just don't identify that way. And so I think they intersect with trying to find the roles that white supremacy has put black people in, with trying to assimilate into that.
Of course. I think for me, navigating the world as a white man comes with a whole slew of privileges and I think ease that I wouldn't have otherwise. I can't actually unlink being visibly gay. So like there's like an astronaut in space looking at Earth being like, who's that fag? It's me. So I don't have a lot of the heterosexual male stuff, but as long as I don't talk, I still get all of the privileges inferred upon me that any straight dude would. And then I still get all of those privileges inferred upon me as a gay white man. And I think for me what that means is, you know, I have always used men's bathrooms even long before I was passing. Nobody ever cared. I know that that's a white thing. I know that my trans man friends of color never felt safe going into bathrooms. They were always seen as a threat, either men's rooms or women's rooms. For myself, as difficult as it was to navigate dating, or like trying to date in the gay male world, it was so much easier for me as a white man, not also having to deal with racism on top of the sort of gynophobia, transphobia, femphobia, in the gay world, I didn't also have that extra layer of BS and the assumptions that people have about men of color and what they're going to bring to a relationship. I really got to be much more of a blank slate than I think anybody else has the privilege of being. And then, of course, for myself, being a parent, trying to navigate the world of legal systems as a white person, huge difference. Huge difference than I think if I were a gay man of color trying to navigate legal systems, either during my name change or in trying to get custody of our kids or any of those things. So I think, my worldview, the way that I've been able to transition and live full-time safely is completely colored by my whiteness.
The ways that I feel that my race and gender intersect would just be that I have so much privilege as a white person, where it's easier for me to look at my gender identity and explore it because I feel safer to, I would imagine.
Well, I guess my gender kind of intersects with my race if you want to talk about my family, because I don't tell my Italian immigrant family about my transition. They're not very cool about it. They're mostly Roman Catholics, so my transition is like something that's not really talked about unless it's like my immediate family members, like my parents and my brother and sister. But they just don't really get it either. I think it's not really a thing in Italy, so
I don't think my gender and race intersect. I think gender is completely fluid, based on anything. So I wouldn't say so, no.
Well, I grew up in Hawaii, so I think my gender doesn't really affect like anything. Culture doesn't really affect gender. In Hawaii, like everyone's just kind of like, oh, we love you because you're here. Like, and that's it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, my race and my gender identity do intersect in a way that I don't want to have them intersect, because society is starting to read me as male, and now I'm being seen as a potentially white cis male, and we all know the problems with that, and I'm getting this privilege that I don't want. And now I'm trying to navigate this world by making sure that everything that I do has a specific intention and consent, and making sure that people know who I am and that I don't live a life that's stealth, even if that's putting me in really harmful, scary situations. People need to know my story, and they need to know that I'm not just your typical cis white dude with tattoos and a shaved head.
Yes. Yes, they do. So it's not to say that there aren't any trans brown people out there, but culturally speaking, it is very difficult to come out in the kind of cultures and traditions that you grow up in if you are of any sort of Latin descent. It's just, our former cultures are very, very rigid and very gendered and very strict, and it's just kind of amazing that, like, how I used to think of being trans as something that would never happen with me, because I previously, like, I don't want to come across as an asshole or anything, but I used to be like, oh, that's white people shit. Like, I can never do that. I don't deserve that. Like, my family would kill me if I did that. I would be ostracized. I would have to move across the world, never to be seen or heard from again, just because of the kind of pressure that you have. And, like, growing up, like, I had long hair for a long time, and I always really enjoyed, like, having long hair. Like, I hated having short hair, and, like, I hated having, like, a high and tight, and I hated, like, looking like super masculine. Like, I avoided it as much as possible, like, was very androgynous. But as I began to age into adulthood, I felt this immense pressure to conform, so I cut all my hair off, and I looked to my peers, like, who were other dudes, and I basically did what they did, but I just was not comfortable in the least. And it's funny how, as I began to embrace that side, and as I began to kind of play into that look, people who totally passed me up before suddenly found me attractive, and people reaffirmed it. People were like, you look good, like, you look tough, like, you look awesome. And no matter how many people told me that, coming from somebody who was very androgynous and very comfortable with how they pretty much just dismissed masculinity, to be told that you look awesome, like, super masculine wise, just was really heartbreaking for me, and I couldn't deal with it.
I think about our little house all the time. I think of strawberry, blueberry, raspberry, blackberry eyes.
Thanks for tuning in to Season 2 of Roaming Gender. Click the link in the description to grab one of our Fairy Queer t-shirts. If you want to score some free merchandise, check out our I'm Your Ally contest on Instagram and Facebook. If you'd like to get involved in Roaming Gender, you can apply at www.roaminggender.com. Tune in every Thursday for a new episode, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We love you.